Hello everyone, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Alberta, Canada, and thank you for joining me today on my Mystery Monday video. We had a super cold weekend here in northern Alberta this weekend. Woke up yesterday to a minus 33 wind chill. However, today is much better and we are supposed to have some warmer temperatures going through this week. So thank goodness it was only short-lived, but it is January, so we shouldn't complain, I guess. Okay, so today we are going to take a look at another celebration item, and it is this designer series paper. It's called Bloom Impressions, and you can find it in the celebration brochure here on page 11. It's right here, and there's also some samples here that they have made using this paper, and it is free with a $75 purchase. So if you're interested, feel free to check out my website, and you can use the January host code. And it's a very bright, cheerful type of paper. So I'm going to give you a quick look at it. So there are 12 sheets, 2 of 6 designs. So this is your first one. Some of the colors in here, let me just see what it says on the package. Azure Afternoon, Blackberry Bliss, Blueberry Bushel, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pumpkin Pie, and Shy Shamrock. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of choices. So a lot of different cardstock colors that you could use to coordinate with this paper. Okay, so this is the first design. Maybe I'll just flip them over. And on the back, you have this beautiful sort of background image there. Here you've got some in that purple, the Blackberry Bliss, I guess. And here on the back as well. If somebody loves purple, this is for you. Here we've got some of that Daffodil Delight and Peach Pie. Very springy pattern. And again on the back, you've got more of that Peach Pie with a bit of a variegation in the color. Here, a lot of Melon Mambo going on, which is very bright and cheery. And on the back, you've got some of that Shy Shamrock or the Azure, I guess. I can't really tell in this light. My, my roller shutter in my craft room is frozen closed because of the cold. We had this crazy winter squall or whatever it was that went through Friday night, where it was blowing and snowing and just freezing. So it's kind of stuck today, so that's why the lighting is a little off in here, but I should be able to get it open hopefully later today. Okay, so we have this pretty floral on the back, and then we have some more of that Melon Mambo, Petunia Pop here, and then this really pretty floral here with, this must be the Azure Afternoon on the back. A very nice sky kind of background if you wanted to use it for, you know, something like that. So a really fun, fresh, bright color palette. So the card we're making today is this one. It is called a W fold card, and I found this template on Tara Beth Stamps online. I'm sorry, I don't know her actual name, but she did a card sort of focusing on this designer paper, and I did switch mine up a teeny bit, and I guess it's called a W because here your fold is like a W. Okay, so when you open it, it is like this. I just think that's super fun. And it's a little bit thick on the left side, but you should still get it in a regular envelope, I would think, depending how many embellishments and things you put on. But I think it's really fun. Okay, fun folds are always a hit. So let's try to put this together. And I will post all of these measurements on the post and on my YouTube channel, so you can certainly check those out later. Okay, I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer because we have to do a bit of scoring. So first of all, our base. I have used Blackberry Bliss, and I apologize for the glare. Maybe I'll try to turn this overhead light off. It's a little bit darker, but hopefully you won't get that glare shining down. I'll see if I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is our base. I chose Blackberry Bliss, and this measures 11 by 5.5. Okay, so you would only get one of these cards out of one piece of cardstock, but that's okay. And then we are going to do some scoring on this 11-inch side. So let me just move this over. I hope you'll be able to see this. Move your cutting blade out of the way. How many times have we meant to score and it's ended up cutting instead? Yes, yours truly has done that more than once. Okay, so on the 11-inch side, we are going to score at 1 3/4. Okay, get that out of the way. So 1 3/4. And then we're going to score at 3.5. So 3.5 here. And then at 5 1/4 up here. And lastly at 7 inches. Okay, so that's our base scoring. And then we have another piece of Blackberry Bliss we're going to use later. And if you want to score your pieces at the same time, I'll just tell you what this one is at. It's also Blackberry Bliss. This measures 6 by 3, and it's scored at 3 inches, which I think I've already done. Yes. Okay, so that's all the scoring you have to do. Okay, so now we're going to do some folding. All right, so this will be sort of the base. This is like our 5.5 by 4 1/4 side. So we are going to fold and burnish along these score lines. So it's like Mountain Valley fold, okay? And then we will go back here. Score this, okay? And then we shall score this one. Hopefully I get this right. If not, you can always fold it the other way. All right, and then we have one more at, I think this is right. Nope, I did that wrong. Oh my gosh. Mountain Valley, it's not that hard. Must be the cold has gotten to my brain. Okay, that way. Then this one should go this way. Oh my gosh. And the last one will fold out, and that will be the front flap. Okay, so I'll just show you what this looks like. All right, so this is what it will look like, right? So when you open it right now, it's looking like this. And here you can see that W fold right there. Okay, excellent. So now we can do some decorating. So I have pre-cut some pieces. So we are going to put on a piece of that designer paper, the Bloom Impressions. We're going to put one here on our bigger section at the back. Okay, so I'm not even sure there's an upside down to this paper. I think pretty much any direction goes. I don't think there's really a right or a wrong. Okay, so let's push that down. And then we're going to put some designer paper on each of these 4 flaps. So again, I used the back piece of one of those designer sheets. So I chose this one. I think this is more the Shy Shamrock kind of green. And we are going to put one of these on each of the panels. Okay, so if you wanted to use this other floral side, you could definitely do that. But I wanted to keep it, and like Tara Beth, I wanted to keep it not quite so busy on these flaps. If you have a different designer paper, but there are a couple of more of those solid images here in the package too, right, that you could pick. Okay, so that's 2. And then we'll do 3. Do that here. I can see my score lines. I'm getting some new glasses this week, so oh my gosh. I hope that's going to help me. Oh goodness. Okay, so, and our last one will go here. All right, so now when we open it, we'll have those 4 panels. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put this little mechanism in here, this little fold, okay? So this is that other Blackberry Bliss piece I mentioned was 6 by 3, and I did score it at 3 inches. So just give it a burnish. And this piece, I think we will put our paper on here first before we attach it. So for that, I'm going to put another piece of the designer paper here. And then I did a piece of basic white where I stamped my greeting. Now, the stamp set I used and the dies are from Irresistible Blooms. This was an older set, which is on the last chance list. So the stamp set itself, I just checked, is unfortunately gone, but the dies are still available. So if you like these dies for anything, you know, this one could be used independently as well as this and your leaf dies there. But this is where I got my Hooray, It's Your Day, and also where I stamped my flower and leaves, which I'll show you as we get to that part. Okay, so if you're wondering the size of these, you are going to cut, okay, 2 out of basic white and 1 out of that Bloom Impressions designer paper, and these are cut out using the largest square die on the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, if you're wondering, you could not use them if you don't want to or don't have them. You could just cut a simple square just to fit on here, but by cutting it with the dies, it fits just perfect. Okay, so we want 1 there and 1 you want to have stamped with your greeting, and the last one we are going to put on the inside here. So you can actually write your little message, okay, but I'll do that after. Okay, so let's put these pieces on. Oops. And we will put these on and then attach our flap, and I'll show you how we're going to do that, or how I do it. Okay, so we'll put that on that side, and our greeting piece we will put on this side here, okay, and it's folding up like this, okay. So now what we need to do is attach this to the very front panel and to the last panel, okay. So see how I have it in my sample. One end is attached to the very first panel and the last end is attached to the last panel. Now you could put it on with regular glue or your Stamp and Seal. I'm going to use some tear and tape because I don't know, I just think with pulling this back and forth it's probably fine, but I just want to make sure that it's going to stick. Okay, so I am just going to put a little strip here on one end and a strip here on the other end, and that way it should really give it a good hold. I know our Tombow glue is really good too. It has a really good hold, so you could do that as well if you wanted. Okay, so then you're gonna peel your backer off here, and I'm gonna start with the left side. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it like this, and I'm gonna just eyeball it and center it about here. So centered between these edges and these edges. Okay, so I'm going to put it about, well, I don't know, my eyeballing might be not quite accurate, but we'll put it here. And then I'm going to fold this together. Okay, fold my flaps together. So they're like this. I'm going to fold them together, and then I'm just going to bring this over and put that down on that last flap. So then this is the front, and you'll open it and it'll be like that. So that's not very hard, hey? And that's so pretty. I just think that's so cool. Okay, so now I had mentioned we want to put one here, one of our squares. Now, a trick somebody taught me once, or I saw online, because, you know, how are you going to line it up so when it's closed, it doesn't stick up, it doesn't stick down from this portion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this square. Okay, and then I'm going to line it up here on this DSP square. And then I'm going to bring our base forward and press down. And that should hopefully align it so that when the front flap is closed, it will cover that inside square. Okay, so you can always give it a little press after. So again, I don't know if this kind of slipped a little bit, but I think it's okay. Yeah, it's all right. So again, if you're not sure, put some adhesive on the back of the white square, lay it on top of this square with the DSP, fold your bottom flap up to adhere it, turn it over and press down, and then it should be in line with that flap. So none of it is sticking above or below. Okay, good. So give that a try. All right, so then this is where you can write your message, and then we're just going to put a little flower and decorate this front. So I have cut a few pieces here and stamped. So here's my flower. I stamped that in Melon Mambo, and then I cut some of those leaves from the dies of the Irresistible Blooms. This is Shy Shamrock, and these two I stamped in Shy Shamrock and then cut them out. These are all dies from that Irresistible Blooms die set. Okay, so I'm just going to add these underneath my flower, just random. Just be careful when you put them on that none of your leaves are going to stick out over the edge, otherwise it won't fit in your envelope. Okay. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I think I'm just going to go kind of random. So put one there, and then we'll put a large one maybe beside it. Okay, just make sure you've got adhesive all over the back so they stick. And then we will put maybe another one here beside that one. And then I'll put a little more adhesive up here. We'll add this other one up here. I'll let that stick out a little bit. And then the final little one, this one has a little bit of a curl to it. I think I will put it's kind of down here. Okay. And then I'm going to attach it on here with some dimensionals. I just want to double check that none of them will interfere. No, they should be okay with my greeting too. So you can always play around with placement before you put this down. You might want to put your floral down and then decide what sort of a stamp or where to put your stamp, just so nothing gets covered up or nothing is hanging over the edge. Okay, so let's add some dimensionals to this. And then we should be able to put this on our base. Okay, I think 4 should be good. I am loving my dimensionals like usual. Okay, so placement, I think I will put, you can rotate it a little, whatever you like. Okay, just make sure it's not going to stick to your bottom portion, but I think that's okay. All right, and last thing is to add, of course, some bling. So these are our purple adhesive bag sequins. They are also a celebration item. Sorry, I have cut these apart a little bit for a class I'm doing. And there's 4 different colors of these sequins, so you can pick whichever you like. I think I'm gonna go with these. Which one should I do? I think these are a little bit dark for me for this particular card, so I think I'll use these other ones. So feel free to add as many as you like, wherever you like. I'll put another, maybe I'll just, I don't know, do I want to keep it to 3? Yeah, I'll leave it at 3. That's fine. If you wanted to add a few more in the center of your flower, you could. Like I said, I know this stamp is now discontinued, but we have so many other floral stamps. Just feel free to pull one out of one of your stamp sets that you have if you don't have this particular one, and any one should work, okay? Or if you want to add different greenery, you could certainly do that. So then when you open it, ta-da, it opens like this. Fun, hey? I think somebody would really love getting a card like this in the mail. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that project today, and we will see you again next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.